Hello, everyone. Hi, Chinwe. We have someone here very early. Hello, Chinwe. How are you doing? I want to know the people that are currently connected to this live. Let me join from my phone. Okay, we have 4 people watching. Please, if you're watching now, drop a comment. Let's know that we are not speaking to ourselves. So even if we have a few number of persons, we can start. So please let us know your name, where you're connecting from, and what you do. Probably, if you like, you can also add what you intend to get out of the session, just to gauge your expectations. Hello, Victor. It's nice to meet you. Thank you for joining us in this webinar. Hi, Joseph. Joseph is joining from Nigeria. It's nice to meet you, Joseph. I'm trying to give a little more time so we have more people join us. When I'm looking down, I'm looking at my phone. I'm joining via YouTube on my phone. Okay, Victor is joining from Rivers State, Nigeria. It's nice to meet you, Victor. Joseph is a software dev and technical writer. Hi, Chisom. Nice to see you here. Thank you for joining us. We're actually in the introduction phase while we, give room for more people to join. So you can go ahead, tell us your name, what you do, and hopefully what you intend to get out of the session. Hi, Oluwafemi Eunice. It's nice to meet you. You're joining from Lagos. Thank you so much for joining. Hi, Joseph. Okay, Joseph is trying to boost his network on LinkedIn. That's amazing. I really hope that at the end of this mini crash course on LinkedIn, you're going to, have better knowledge on how to boost your network on LinkedIn. So we are going to be starting in the next 2 minutes. So we are currently in the introduction session just to give more room for more people to join us. Of course, this stream hopefully is going to be on my YouTube channel. So even if some persons are unable to join, they have to watch the replay, but then I won't be answering questions in real time. That's the advantage you that is here would have. You would watch me demonstrate how to go about your LinkedIn stuff, and then you ask me your question. Okay, you're currently all over Twitter. You've heard a lot about LinkedIn. Very happy to be here. Great, thank you. Yeah, LinkedIn is a very great platform. Hi, Elochukwu, data analyst from Enugu. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so I don't think it's fair for me to waste much of our time again. Thank you for being punctual. Thank you for joining on time. We're just going to continue with the session, right? And those who join later can always catch up or continue from wherever they meet us. And anytime you eventually join this, feel free to drop your introduction later on, whether it's the replay, whether you're joining with us here. So you already know why we are here. Of course, you saw the flyers somewhere, maybe from IG or maybe from me, and you decided to join. So we are going to be looking at how to optimize your LinkedIn profile, right? But before we get into that, I'll basically give a little bit of introduction to why we are doing this, why I actually decided to run this with my friend Ijoma, and why I am also talking to you about it. I mean, I don't work at LinkedIn, so why am I so keen or particular to teach people how to use LinkedIn? So now let's get to it. Um, I don't know if I should start from introducing myself or introducing why we're here. I think we should start from introducing why we are here, which is LinkedIn. So if you check the description of this video in the YouTube, it starts with something like over 700 million people use LinkedIn. It's not a statistic that was just picked randomly. It's real. And LinkedIn is a very good platform. Yes, a lot of people sometimes say that LinkedIn is not real. You go there and you see 1001 congratulations. I'm excited to announce. I'm excited to announce. And then people feel like, because this platform is like this, it's not for me. I don't have anything to announce. So let me not bother myself staying on this platform. It's not for me. Things like that. But I don't think LinkedIn is just for announcing your job or announcing your scholarships. LinkedIn is, the way I see it, is like your social media CV. LinkedIn is the only social media platform so far that I know where you have. Oh my God, my light is back. IJ is watching this from the background and she knows how much I lamented that these guys took my lights and we don't run gen over here. Okay, so please give me a second. It's going to change a couple of things. All right, I'm back. All right, so as I was saying, LinkedIn is like your mobile CV, right? If you check Twitter, you check Facebook, most times you have just one part of your Twitter where you have to write your bio. Nobody checks your CV. Like if you click on someone's bio on Twitter, you just see I am so so person, their name, and maybe there is a pinned tweet or maybe a link to something which a lot of people might not even click. But LinkedIn is the only platform where you can have the chance to update literally every professional detail about you. I had a feeling I was cut out for a second. Okay. So with LinkedIn, you have your professional detail out there, right? And it's an amazing stuff because like you have the ability to reach more people. You know, after COVID happened, the world became even more closer with the advent of remote works. You know that since COVID happened, we have like so many people talking more about remote roles. A lot of companies left their physical offices and went remote. And what this means is that the world became more global, such that you can be in Nigeria and be working for a company in the US. So, how are you able to reach these recruiters or these companies that are in these very distant locations? You can't go to their gate and knock with their CV. You need to have somewhere that your CV is kept. And that place for me is not your website. I have a website, but I don't really feel like my website is my mobile CV. Yes, it's good to have a website where you have your documentation of the things you do and all of that. But you can agree with me that not a lot of people will really be interested in clicking on your website. But when a recruiter is recruiting, they usually check out LinkedIn, and it's possible for them to reach out to you through LinkedIn. So most times when people talk to me about remote roles, they want to get a new job, I usually tell them, how does your LinkedIn profile looks like? Because I won't tell you something that I haven't tried. I won't tell you something that haven't worked for me. So this is the part where I get into who am I and why am I actually advocating for LinkedIn when I don't even work there. I'm advocating for LinkedIn because it's something that helped me. It's a platform that helped me, right? I've been on Facebook for years, I think since 2013 when I got admission into university. I've also been on Twitter for like 3, 4 years. And in as much as these platforms played their parts in my life, I got a couple of connections, made new friends. LinkedIn has proven to be that platform that really helped me to, really move higher in my profession and my career. So I am Amarachi Johnson Oba. It's already on the screen. And I am a community manager, a developer community manager. I don't manage every community. I have my niche, which is the developer communities. I currently volunteer at Shecode Africa as a community manager and also work at Consensus Mesh as a community manager. Consensus Mesh is one of the topmost Web3 companies in the world, and they are based in Washington, United States. And I got this job through LinkedIn. LinkedIn has helped me get a lot of other things, but this job was like the highlight of it. And after it happened, I felt like the best way for me to really, you know, pass this on, because I believe in the principle of passing the torch, passing the light to other people, would be to share how to optimize your LinkedIn. I know people pay people to optimize their LinkedIn profile, but how about you do it yourself? I didn't pay anyone to train me on how to optimize my LinkedIn. I basically Googled or maybe watch YouTube video, or sometimes I decided to just explore, right? So that is about that. And I've seen how powerful LinkedIn is as a tool. If you go online, you see a lot of testimonies. People like Adora Nwodo got her job at Microsoft through LinkedIn. A recruiter reached out to her through LinkedIn, not Twitter, not Facebook, not Instagram. It was through LinkedIn. So in this session, this is all we want to talk about. And I want this session to be as practical as possible. I'm going to share my screen and show you. I have a slide, but the slide is just to guide us. But I'm going to share my screen and use my own LinkedIn profile to show you like the step-by-step process of making your LinkedIn profile optimized. So if you're excited about this, please let me know in the comment section, because I want this class to be as interactive as possible. I love interactive classes. It gives me the ginger to move on. It helps me know that the people I'm talking to are really following me. And I'm also going to be sharing my screen. So if I share my screen, I won't be able to see your comments, which means that I also need more ginger, because it's not easy to be teaching people and you can't see the people you're teaching. You can't even see their comments. You're just there looking at your screen. So this session is going to be split into 2 or 3 parts. The first part is going to cover your LinkedIn profile first. I'm going to walk you through from the process when you started out with your LinkedIn accounts, then how to make sure that your profile is well optimized. And then after my session, I'm going to bring in IJ. IJ is going to share about job search on LinkedIn, how to, send out those awesome cold messages to your recruiters, or how to turn on your job notifications on LinkedIn. Everything jobs, she's going to take care of that. And then if we have more time, we may get into the content aspect of LinkedIn, and then we will answer some of the questions that we received in the registration form. You remember in the registration form, I asked you to write the question you have for us. So we are going to be answering some of those questions. So if you had questions that you dropped in that form, please stay till the end. We are going to be answering those questions one after the other. So at this juncture, I am going to share my screen. So you give me a second. I think I always have this problem with sharing my screen. I hope it doesn't happen again. Okay, I think I'm going to add you to the stream, Ijoma, because I need you to be like, if I ask, do you follow? I won't be able to hear our audience, but I want you to be able to at least give me a heads up that I'm still being heard, just in case I get disconnected and then I'm talking to myself. IJ, are you there? Okay, someone is saying in the comments about lights, he had to reach out to PHCN. Well, I don't use PHCN. I'm not in Nigeria. So thanks for trying, though. Okay, I don't think IJ is available for me to add her to the stream, so I'm just going to go ahead and present. Please let me know if you can see my slide. Let me know if you can see my slide. Just a couple of comments. I'm going to check it now. I just want to know if you saw that slide. Please let me know in the comments before we continue. I want to be sure you saw that LinkedIn slide I just shared. If I confirm that you saw it, then I can continue. Okay, IJ is here. IJ, are you ready for me to add you to the stream? Okay, you can. Great. All right. That's great. Thank you for confirming that. Someone said I should zoom a bit. You don't really need this. I've already gone through all of this. Okay, I didn't talk about who this class is for, but by you being here, I believe you have some inclination to optimize your LinkedIn. So whether you're a job seeker, whether you're a freelancer, whether you're a student, whether you're a stay-at-home mom or any category of that, as long as you have a skill that you want the world to see, then this session, this webinar is for you. So this is what we are going to cover in the part one. So I'm just going to dive straight into it. We don't have a lot of time, and I'm looking forward to like us spending just an hour in this session, and the time is already fast spent. So I'm quickly going to open my LinkedIn. My LinkedIn is in dark mode. I want to be sure everyone can see it. I know some people don't really like dark modes, and I wish there was a way for me to really zoom my screen. I don't know how to do that with a MacBook. My bad. Let me not do control spoil. Hey, it worked. It did work. It worked. Awesome. Ooh, great. I love this. Now everyone can see my screen very well. I believe so. Okay, so this is my LinkedIn profile. You can follow me later if you want, or send me a connection request. So the first thing I want to talk about is your profile. I have an assumption that everyone in this session or watching later already has a LinkedIn account. If you don't have a LinkedIn account, it's very simple to create linkedin.com. You can decide to sign up with your email account and you're in, right? So it's not really a big deal. So after signing up on LinkedIn, the next thing is to ensure that your profile is optimized. You don't just create LinkedIn and leave it that way. And optimizing your profiles involves you filling in every detail that you need to fill in your LinkedIn. And each of these sections have some requirements. You don't just fill them in haphazardly. Remember when I started the introduction, I told you that your LinkedIn is like your mobile CV. It is like your social media CV. So you can't afford to, be very careless with it or just upload any kind of picture or any kind of detail or any kind of bio. You have to be strategic. Know that recruiters are eventually going to be looking for you someday. And how do you want them to find you? When they click on your profile, what do you want them to see? What impression do you want to make to these recruiters? LinkedIn has a recruiting platform called LinkedIn Recruiter, and that is the platform a lot of companies or HRs use to, search for candidates or employees, potential employees. So when they search and your name pops up, eventually, what do you want them to see? So now we are going to first start with your profile picture. It's very obvious from my profile picture. When you're selecting a picture for your profile, try to use something that shows half of your body, something that makes your face shown. For me, I don't think it's ideal for your LinkedIn profile picture to be a full bodied picture where you're showing from head to toe, right? We don't really want to see your height. That's me though. But you have to try to put in a picture that shows like the upper part of your torso, your body, right? And then with a clear background. So if you have a nice picture you want to put up on LinkedIn, but somehow the background isn't as clear as you want, you can always use this platform called remove.bg. A lot of people already know about it. With remove.bg, you're able to upload your image and it will trim off the back. You see what it just did to this picture here. And remove.bg also gives you a lot of other cool either colors, plain colors, or even backgrounds you can place behind that picture to make it look really neat. You don't need a picture that have a lot of encumbrances behind, right? So that is one. we've covered your profile picture. Then the next thing is your header image. Initially, when I joined LinkedIn, I didn't have a header image. I didn't think it was important. But with time, I realized that it's just as important as your profile picture. Remember that you're trying to give a good and lasting first impression. So when you're when you're trying to update your LinkedIn, then a recruiter comes in here, I've seen your profile picture. The next place my eyes go to is mostly either your header picture or your headline. This text here is your headline. So I'm going to be talking about the header picture and your headline. This header picture here was created with Canva. It doesn't take a lot. It could be just a banner with your name and the core things you do or the core focuses you have. Or you can also decide to use maybe an image, but the image shouldn't be so distracting. Just something simple that somehow portrays you, something that somehow fits into your brand, right? Something that describes you in a way, maybe not with your name, not with your profession, but just something that is similar to who you want to be presented as. That's for your header profile. Then the next thing is your headline. This here is your headline. For mine, I have developer community manager. I develop strategies and programs that promote tech adoption and accessibility. Some people put what they do in their company in their headline. I used to have developer community manager at Consensus Mesh as my headline, but I eventually changed it to this. And this also brings me to the fact that LinkedIn optimization is not something you do once and for all. I can't count the number of times I've changed my LinkedIn profile. Like I literally change it. I don't know if it's every month or every. I usually find something in my LinkedIn profile that deserves to be changed. I don't change everything at once. I can come today and find out that this headline does not describe me anymore, and I edit and put something else, right? So I was listening to Blessing Bank yesterday, and she mentioned that branding is not a destination, it is a journey. And that's also the same mindset I would love everyone watching to have when it comes to your LinkedIn profile. It's not a destination, it's not something you do once and say it's optimized. That's all. It's a journey. The more you garner experiences, the more your personality or your career changes and grows and improves. You keep updating your LinkedIn profile. So when writing your headline, it's always important to have something that really describes what you do. It mustn't have something to do with where you work. It's not compulsory that you have let's say engineer at so place. You mustn't mention your organization unless it's mandated in your organization to mention them on your LinkedIn headline, which I don't think there are organizations that mandate that. So try to put something that somehow describes you and not directly attaches you to your job, right? And you're also free to add up to two or three titles. Like here, I have my title as developer community manager, and then I have another sentence that briefly describes something I'm passionate about doing, which is developing strategies and programs. So you can see some profiles, they have community manager, they have a slash technical writer, they have a slash maybe developer advocate. You can have up to one or two or three related career paths. But for me, I usually advise that you don't like overboard your headline with so many details or so many titles. You can't come to your profile and put engineer, teacher, community manager, technical writer, open source advocate, women in tech advocate. It's just too much, right? So put a few things that you want to stick with anyone that visits your profile, or even if somebody does not visit your profile and you're just scrolling through LinkedIn, these headline shows alongside your names. I don't know if you've noticed it. Once you're scrolling through LinkedIn, you always see the person's headline close to their names. So which means that if you want anything you want people to really associate with your name is what you should put here. And it might be your job title, it must not be your job title. I hope you are still following. I'm quickly going to go to StreamYard to check your comments to ensure that you're really following. Did you grab that? Did you grab the aspect where I talked about your profile picture, your header image, and your headline? Please let me know if you grab that so I can go back to LinkedIn and we continue. Okay, some people are saying I should zoom a bit. Was that before I zoomed or after I zoomed? I really hope it was before. All right. I only want one confirmation and then I continue. I wanted to know if you're following me. Okay, let's move on to the next session. These two things you're seeing here, this is my workplace, this is my school. We are going to see how they came about. I didn't add them. Like, it's not something you must add by yourself. Like, it's not something you edit and then you type in. It's reflecting from my job section. This is where it's coming from here. And then it went to my academic section and picks this, right? So we are going to see to that later on. Then this is another part I want to talk about, this place right now. This is open to, and when you click on open to, yeah, let me also mention I'm currently viewing this on my laptop. On your phone is going to be a slightly different experience, but it's the same. You're going to see all these things at exactly the same areas in on your phone. So when you click on open to, this is where you choose what are you open to. Are you looking for a job? Are you providing a service, or are you hiring? Do you want to recruit people? So you can see mine is turned on. I have finding a job. I am also providing services. Actually, I'm not currently looking for a job, but then it's usually advised that whether you're currently employed or not, it's always good to leave your finding a new job status on, so that recruiters can still contact you. And who knows, people are always looking out for new opportunities. So you might want to still move from your current job to another one. But it's always advised to keep your finding a new job on. Then when you click on this, you're going to see an option. You're probably going to see an option to add something on your screen. Yeah, here. You can decide to turn this on. When you turn this on, it's going to show this blue banner. I know you must have seen a lot of people on LinkedIn who have this blue banner here, open to work. So people usually put this if they are really actively searching for work, right? But I am not actively searching. That is why I chose this one. So it's only people who are using LinkedIn Recruiter that can see me. So that open to work, I know some people might not really want to put that stuff on their profile, but you don't have to be shy about this stuff. If you're looking for work, you're looking for work, right? It's really nobody's business. When Ruth Ikega, who got her current job at Bitergia, shared how she got her job, she mentioned that someone who was working in an organization and was also volunteering with her in an open source community where she volunteered, saw that open to work banner on her LinkedIn when there was an opening in her company. And she was like, wait, this girl is really good at what she does. This open to work signifies that she's looking for work. And that's how that person reached out to her to ask her, are you really open to work? And that was how she got hired. So a closed mouth is a closed destiny. So if you're really actively looking for work, leave that banner on your profile. You might not know who is watching. I think I'll come to this place later. We have the add profile section. So sometimes when you create a LinkedIn account, you're not going to see all these sessions down here immediately, right? So you're free to add certain sessions you want. Like recently I added, you can see add featured, right? Featured is the next section I'm going to talk about. So your LinkedIn profile might not come with all these sections immediately. They are giving you a freedom to allow some sections to show on your profile or not. So you have add licenses and certifications. Do you have licenses and certifications, courses you've taken, you want to put on LinkedIn? Then you tap here and it will show down. And then you can always go and edit and add those things. Are there recommendations that you want people to write you recommendations? You click here. You want to add a featured section. So these are like your core section, your education, your position, that's your job experience. Did you ever have a career break that you want to add in your profile? You can always add it. I didn't add mine. So you have skills, you want to add your skills. So this is where you have the chance to select the sections, different sections that your LinkedIn profile will comprise of. So at the end of the day, it all boils down to how you want your LinkedIn profile to look like. So let's go on. This is private to me. People on LinkedIn cannot see this, but you're seeing it because you're watching from my end. So this is creator mode. I turned on creator mode to be able to access these 4 things on LinkedIn. If you're on creator mode, you see turn off. If you click yours, if it's not on, you would see turn on instead. So you're able to go live on LinkedIn if you're on creator mode. You're able to host an audio event just like a Twitter space. You're able to have a newsletter. I have a newsletter. And you're also able to have your follow link. Some of you might have been wondering, why do I have a follow on my profile and you don't? It's because I'm on creator mode. At least now I've given you the hack. So click on creator mode, go back, and it will immediately make all these other features available for you. Then the next section that I'm going to be talking about is your featured section. This is one of the most important aspects of your LinkedIn profile, because this is like where you shine the spotlight on the key achievements you've had. Have there been times you were interviewed on a blog or interviewed on a newspaper, on a YouTube channel? Did BBC interview you? Like those key spotlight moments for you, this is where you put them, right? So these are mine, right? You can see I have removed some, the previous ones, and added new ones. So it's normal. This is my newsletter. I added it as a feature because I want people who check my profile to also subscribe to my newsletter. So how do you add the featured session, right? You see these 2 signs here. This is for add and this is for edit. So when you click on those plus, you will see add a post, you can add a newsletter, you can add an article, add the link, add media, anything. I haven't done this add media before because it basically just adds a picture, which I don't really want to do. Most of the feature sections I have are from posts. So when you click on add post, it's going to bring up all the LinkedIn posts you've made so far. So you're the one that can decide to feature any of them. So if I feel like this is a very important moment for me, I had already posted it on LinkedIn in the past, but now I really want it to feature on my profile. So, when people come to your profile, sometimes they might not really scroll through your posts because they might not really have that time. So imagine if this happened like 2020, and then people cannot scroll back to watch this interview. I can decide to feature it, so it's like one of the first things people see when they come to my profile. It doesn't go down. You see the reason why I like this. Imagine this was a BBC feature. I won't want it to just remain there since 2020 where nobody can even remember again. So I'll put it on my feature section so people can keep seeing it even after the time has already passed. Then when you want to edit, you click on this place. These things are pretty straightforward, but I'm just trying to like break it out because I know there are people who are watching that haven't ever tried any of this. So sorry if you're already past this stage. I'm trying to really go down to like the very basics. So I just clicked on edit. So on edit, you can actually still add all of those things I showed you before, or you can also rearrange. You saw the place I clicked, right? So if I want to rearrange the other, I can decide to push this down and have this up. I don't want to do that, so I'm going to leave it. All right, so let's move over to the next thing. All right, so we are done with the features section. Please, if you have any question in the course of this, remember I'm not seeing my StreamYard or the YouTube live comments at this point. So feel free to drop your questions there. I'm going to look at them once we are done with this, once I'm done with this session. Okay, so this is your activities. Your activities are basically the things you do on LinkedIn. What do you do on LinkedIn? Do you comment on people's posts? Do you like? Do you share your own posts? This is where it shows up. Now, this is one reason why I really like LinkedIn. On Twitter, it's easy for someone to have a very negative digital footprint and somehow maybe get away with it unless someone decides to dig. But then on LinkedIn, all your activities show on your profile. So whether you commented somehow on someone's post, or you liked some very crazy posts, or you post things that are not good or anything like that, it all shows here, which also means that you can convert this to your advantage. You can comment meaningfully on people's posts. It shows on your profile. You can like very good content. It shows here. It shows your recruiters the kind of content you consume, the kind of people you follow, the kind of content you interact and engage with. It's all visible for them to see. So this is it with LinkedIn. You can like certain kinds of posts and feel like nobody knew I liked it, by the way, it will all show up in your activities. I only need to come and click on show all activity to see this is like the last post I liked. You see, I liked Tunde Onakoya's post, and it's right here. So if it was a recruiter, he'll just see that this was the last post I liked, and imagine if it were like a bad thing. So we also need to be careful here. I just needed to point that out. Then the next part of this is the about section. And for weird reasons, my about, is it because I zoomed it? It's not showing completely. Okay. All right. Let me click here. So this is my about section. Oh, this is weird. Okay, so actually I keep changing my about section from time to time, but one tip that I would give when you're writing about you is to try to keep it a little bit short, not too short. This is not like extremely short, but it shouldn't be like an essay. It's not 1,000 words essay competition, because you need to write in such a way that the recruiters or whoever is viewing your profile will love to read your bio. Also try to add some paragraphing, as you've seen here. If it's going to be long a little bit, try to add these spaces so that it encourages the person reading to read through. And please try to emphasize on your strengths, the things you've done, what you do. Like this is apart from, you remember that in the header session we had like this limited space to add what we do, right? But your bio or your about section is like where you really get to explain what you've done, but in very concrete terms. So if you look at this, you can see the way I structured my about. It doesn't cover everything about me. There are still a couple of things that I might not have added here, but I felt like these ones I added are really strategic things that I want people to see are about me, right? These are the things, the achievements I feel I'm proud of, and the things I would love anyone reading my bio currently to see. Next month, I can delete this and write another one. I'm just trying to let you know that these things are not fixed. So even if you write one today and tomorrow you feel like this does not suit you anymore, feel free to keep reiterating and writing new ones. It's totally fine. Then the next part we are going to look at is your work experience. Your work experience on LinkedIn is not the same with your CV, the way you write your work experience here, because you are going to be writing your work experience to really show what you did in your previous job. I know some people still add those things to their CVs, but then on LinkedIn, you even have more flexibility to write them as many times as you want and add more. So this here is not the typical job experience. That's why I just added mesh member, because at Consensus Mesh, I work with Veramo. So this is where my job experience is. So I didn't just add developer community manager Veramo full time, put the location and then scroll and add the next one. No, I had to make actionable items that shows what I do in my role on a day-to-day, like what my job description looks like, and then what I've been able to achieve in that job, right? So this is a typical example of what this looks like. I've written down a bit about what my job description looks like, and then I wrote down quantitatively. Actually, I didn't just say at the company with my help they grew. Nobody cares about the growth if you can't quantify it, is it? Did they grow from 0 to 1,000 users? Did they grow from 0 to 10% community members? Did they, like, how did your role impact the company, whether it's a current company or it's a previous job that you had? How did your presence in that team, in that company, help them grow? If you were a teacher and you were teaching in a school, and then maybe the students in that particular class used to have like 60% failure, and then during your time you were able to help them have like 80% passes and just 20% students failing, it's something that you can add in your job description as a teacher in that school. So this is not just about being a developer. I'm always using developer because that is like my field, but then this can be applied to any other thing, whether you're a freelancer, there was maybe a job you were able to carry out on Upwork or on any platform. What did you do in that job? What skills? This is something else LinkedIn added. So when you are editing your job, remember, if you want to add a job, just click on this plus and fill out the rest. So when you're, let me edit one of these jobs just so that you see. So this is what it looks like. You're going to add your title, the type, the company, the location. Sometimes you can also add remote if you don't want to put your company location. Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah. So this remote is already here. So you can put your start date, your end date, and all of that. Then this is where the description is. All those long stuff I wrote, this is where I wrote them. So, oh my, I think we're having some electricity challenges. Give me a minute to unplug, just so it doesn't. I don't want it to spoil something for me. Okay, so this is the skills. Here they are asking you, what skills did you use in this job? Or are you currently using in this job? So you can add a skill, add as many as you like. Did you use speaking? I can add speaking, public speaking, motivation, whatever. I can add that and save. I just did that to show. Then you can also add media. So in this media, if there were maybe events you attended on behalf of your company, or any media thing you feel, maybe an article you wrote around your job, or anything you feel like is a media related content that buttresses what you did in that job, you can also add it. So this thing now, you can add it in your normal CV, right? But LinkedIn gives you the opportunity to really put it out there, everything you did in your job, the wins you have, the achievements, spill them on your mobile CV, which is LinkedIn, so that when people or recruiters come on here, they are going to be impressed. So this is like my job experiences. Okay. Okay, I need to go back. This listing all job experiences. Okay, so the next thing we are going to be looking at is education. So education, you don't really need to write so much, but if you still feel like you want to write everything you did in school, it's great. For someone like me, I didn't do so much in school apart from reading and passing my exams, and the result is actually here to show. But if you're someone who did a lot of maybe activities, you were president of a union in school, those things matter. So write them. If you led a club, I mean, like academic clubs, you write them here. So if there are skills that you used a lot in school that are really helpful, also add them just the same way I added them for you in the job description. You can add them here where I did it here. Then the next section, please, adding is just the same, it's same user experience. Adding is the plus. If you want to edit here, it's that simple. Then the next thing is your licenses and certifications. So those courses you've taken, all of them, try to add them here. And I'll also point out that it's better if you add courses and certifications that are related to who you are now and probably the opportunities you're looking for. If there was a point you took a course on how to cook. Imagine if I took a course on how to cook maybe 3 years ago. I'm a developer community manager now, and I don't think a certification in cooking is really helpful for me in my license and certifications. It's not helpful, so no need putting it there. The same thing goes to your job experiences. If there was a time when you were a nanny, when you were, maybe you worked in a nanny organization, but now you're an accountant and you want to build a career around accountancy, just, there are some job experiences that shouldn't be on your profile, to be honest. In as much as we are trying to populate our job experiences so it's bulky, it's always good to add job experiences that they may not be directly related. Like if you check my job experiences, you might even find somewhere where I was a teacher, I think. You would find where I was teaching somewhere down here. Yeah, I was a graduate assistant and a teacher. But if you check well, in this graduate assistant role, I was working with senior lecturers in computer science. I wasn't teaching something else. So it's still IT related. When I was teaching in Catholic Diocese, the directorate, I also volunteered. I was teaching young girls basic computer skills, which somehow relates to my current role in Code Africa, advocating for women in tech. So it's related. The job roles should somehow complement each other. I have other job roles I did not add. I've taught in a primary school before, like up to 3 primary schools. I've taught in a secondary school before twice as well, but they are not here because they are not real. They are not relevant to what I do now, and the future that I also envisage. So it's also important that you note that only add relevant things. There is no need adding 100 certificates that don't relate or that don't complement each other at least. And then don't forget your volunteering. It's very important. Recruiters want to see your volunteering roles. But now, if you check my job description, this role here, She Code Africa, and this role here are actually volunteering roles, these two roles. But they were volunteering roles and I did them so well. Like they were the first experiences I had in community management. They were full-time roles for me because I gave it my best and I didn't want to relegate it to just volunteering, because when you put it as volunteering, I didn't think it would carry the weight I really wanted it to have. For me, it was a job experience. So I added them. I added them as job experiences, and somehow it boosted my LinkedIn profile. When you come and check them and see that they are actually experiences, right? So it gave me a shot. It's a very good thing. So if you are volunteering roles that are relevant, maybe let's say you're currently a front end developer and you volunteer for, let's say, an organization, maybe an NGO, to build and maintain their front end projects and all of that. You can decide to add it as an experience. It's an experience despite the fact that it was a voluntary role. But then there were other voluntary roles like this one. They were just a one-off thing, right? A mentor at Technovation, mentor at Developer Cycle. I just did them once and left, right? So I had to still keep them as volunteering. Organizing events, I saw all of those as volunteering. But these other ones were like full. Like I've been with Ashiko Africa for like 3 years now. So it's not a voluntary role for me anymore, a volunteering role for me. So if there are volunteering experiences that you have that you feel are very good to keep on your profile, please feel free to add them as your experiences. I'm going to quickly rush through this because our time is already fast spent. We have the skills session, the skills, all those skills that you have. You know how to use Microsoft Word, add them here. You know how to manage things, you know how to write, every of that, add them here. And eventually, LinkedIn has a way of signaling people in your network to endorse you for certain skills that you have chosen that you know how to do. For instance, if you visit my LinkedIn profile, LinkedIn will probably ask you to endorse me for so and so skills, and then you can feel free to endorse me. So the more endorsement you have, the more credibility you have that you really know how to do those things. But another way to also do the credibility thing is to click on demonstrate skills. If you click here, LinkedIn is going to give you some tests. So if you say you know how to do Microsoft Office, okay, you click on demonstrate skills, they are going to give you a test. You write the test, you pass, and then they endorse you that you really know how to do this stuff. So it's either people give you recommendations or you try to demonstrate your skill to LinkedIn. Then the next part is your recommendation. I've not done a great job at this. I only have one recommendation for now. But if you can find people, maybe previous colleagues, people you currently work with, friends, people you volunteered for or with, that can come on LinkedIn to attest to your good behavior, attest to your job ethics, attest to your intelligence or virtue or what have you, ask them to please come and give you a recommendation. And also try to give people, I've given only 2 recommendations to people, so you can click on this place and ask for a recommendation. So when you click here, it's going to ask you, who do you want to ask? So I can quickly type in Bethel Bankole. I don't know if that's your LinkedIn name, but I know you're here. So if your name, actually, I don't know, maybe I didn't spell it right. So it will have popped up the name here, and I'll just tap and say continue, and then you're going to receive a message immediately that that Amarachi wants is asking you to. Oof, okay. Oops, this card. The Amarachi is asking you to send a recommendation. Then the last sessions are pretty self-explanatory. We have your honors and awards. If you've received awards, you have things you want to showcase, put them right here, languages you speak. So this is basically all there is to your LinkedIn page. Then one more thing that I want to share here is your admin session. Let me reduce the. Okay, so when I click on more, not here. Time runs so fast. Jeez. I was hoping I'll just take 30 minutes to run through this stuff. Um okay, so here we have edit public profile and URL. Most times when you're applying for jobs, you usually see them tell you to your enter your LinkedIn URL. So this is where you do that here. So if you have a LinkedIn profile, please, the first thing I want everybody to do after this is to go and update your URL. Most times your LinkedIn comes with some scattered numbers and alphabets here. So it's your job to come and edit it and put your full name here. You put your full name so that it's handy for you. Like me, once you ask me for my LinkedIn URL, I know it at the back of my palm because it's just for me to type in linkedin.com/in/Amarachi Johnson. So it's important that everybody tries to update their LinkedIn URL, because in job applications, most times, if you've applied for jobs recently online, you always see them asking you for your LinkedIn URL. So you don't need to always go to your LinkedIn to copy that text or that link. Create your own custom URL, and then also scroll down to make sure that your profile is public. There is no need for you to optimize your LinkedIn only for it to be work only. This means that recruiters that are searching or through LinkedIn Recruiter can find you. So you need to click on public and make sure it is public. Okay, I mistakenly minimized. Where do I stop share? Oh, this was so long. I didn't know that just sharing my LinkedIn. Please, I'll quickly bring in IJ to take the second session of this. That's the job aspect. Um, but okay, please give me a second. I wanted to do. Okay, IJ, are you there? If you're there, I would love to add you to this stream. While we wait for IJ, I don't think she's here. I just dropped a link in the chat, so you can click on it and in one word tell me how you felt about the previous part, just in one word, right? I'm watching the link. So if you're able to, if you have an additional device, don't leave the session. But if you don't have an additional device, later on you can click on that link and tell me how you feel about the session. So IJ, I'm bringing you up now. Hi IJ. I can't hear you. You're joined with through two devices, so I'm thinking the problem is from there. I'm seeing you duplicated. I can't hear you. Can you disconnect your other device? I'm seeing two ideas here. Oh, you're currently muted. Can you say something? I want to confirm that I can hear you. Are you this Precious? Are you the one connecting with Precious? Oops, we texted this, so why is it now misbehaving after we've done the test? Okay, Christy is asking, what if you've not volunteered before? If you've not volunteered before, don't bother adding a volunteer experience, then don't add the section. It's not compulsory to add every section, but then you can always try to find volunteering opportunities. They are everywhere. Maybe if I find one, I'll share with you. Thank God I have your contact. It's good to volunteer. That's how you create these experiences that recruiters will eventually find and want to employ you. IJ, please let me know if you're good. Oops. Let me remove you from the stream and add you again. Can you hear me? But I can't hear you. Why are you connect? Who is Precious? I'm seeing two connected devices, and I don't know if this Precious is you. Is that you? The problem we are having is with your audio. The problem we are having is from your audio. Please, if you can hear IJ, please let us know because I don't want it to be like it's just from my end. But from my end, I can't hear you, IJ. But let me confirm from our viewers if they can, just to be sure that maybe it's not my microphone that's the problem. You can also leave the stream and join back. Like you can leave the entire studio and join back. Mm-hmm. All right. So please, sorry about that. These things happen. All right. I've worked virtually enough for me to know that these things happen. Like I can even be in this session and my lights will just go off and my ring lights will also go off and everywhere turns dark. But it's always good to, bear with this kind of situations because it happens. I'm going to go through this and also be answering some questions before IJ comes back. And if she's not able to come back, I will answer the questions that we had. We skip her session for now. About the honors and award, can one put out any award at all? Yeah, if it's an award, it's an award. As long as you're proud of it, put it out there. It mustn't come from Forbes 30 under 30. As long as it's an award, it came because you did something good, right? Yeah, so feel free to add it. Please let me know if you have any other questions while we wait for IJ because she's supposed to take the next session. Unfortunately, we tested this StreamYard yesterday. We tested before we started today, but network and technical issues is not your mate. I remember the last time I held a Twitter Spaces for my company at 58 minutes as the conversation was getting juicier, like it was even flowing, like it was so interesting. Out of nowhere, my network just went off. And that was the end for me. Everybody left now, of course. And the weird thing about Twitter Spaces is that the once the host gets cut out, it can't stay, it can't sustain. So immediately I got cut out, that was the end. The whole session ended, and I had to make do with what I got because I couldn't start it again, and it was already almost an hour gone. So these things happen. I'm going to okay, IJ is back. I wanted to even go ahead and answer those questions. It's already getting late. IJ, are you there? Please let me know. Let me add you. Or okay, what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead to answer some of those questions. When I'm done, we will check on IJ again. I hope that's good. So we don't really spend the whole of the bulk of our time. Okay, so my screen is back. So IJ was supposed to take this session, this session, the job search session, putting you through how to search for jobs, upload your CV, finding remote roles, connecting with recruiters, code messaging, and even LinkedIn Premium. LinkedIn Premium, some people were asking in the question why the fuse, why do people advise that people get LinkedIn Premium, but LinkedIn Premium is good and it's not so expensive. With LinkedIn Premium, you can send mails or emails. It's called emails to anyone on LinkedIn. There are people I can't DM right now. As long as we are not connected, their messages will be locked. If you want to check it out, if you check your LinkedIn, there are people you can't send messages. But with LinkedIn Premium, you can bypass all those blockades, right? You can send anybody a message, which is a good thing, because imagine you have a recruiter or a founder, or someone you want to reach out to for maybe to pitch your services or your or what you can do, but then their messages are locked. In fact, most times their messages are locked. So you need to use LinkedIn to bypass those stuff. All right. It's already 7 o'clock. So before I get to the questions, I'm going to chip in this brief ebook that I wrote for LinkedIn profile optimization. In here, you're going to see everything that I've already talked to you about, and even more practical ways to do them, including samples of messages you can send to these recruiters. If you're a freelancer, messages you can send to prospects, even your description, the things it should look like. That's your about section, the typical ways your job description aspect of your LinkedIn profile should look like, basically everything, and even more that our time cannot allow us to go through. We've not talked about content and messaging on LinkedIn. That's your postings, your comments, and all of that. So I packed all of them into this ebook. And although, as is normal for me, I had to deliberate a lot. Should I make this free? Should I make this paid? But I know that people usually abuse free stuff. And if I make this free, a lot of people are going to download it and may never get to read it. So if you're interested and you want to read it, then at least when you make that payment, you will be forced to read it and be forced as well to optimize your LinkedIn profile, because now you know that you've actually made a payment for it. So if you're interested, please, the link is here on the screen. So feel free to copy the link. I think I will share it as a description to this live stream when we are done. So let me quickly tackle some of these questions. Although some of them were addressed to IJ, so I'm going to leave those ones that were addressed to her. When is the LinkedIn profile said to be optimized? If you are able to do everything I've shown you, from your profile picture to your header image to your headline and down to your awards and certifications, your LinkedIn is optimized, right? Your LinkedIn profile rather is optimized. How do I write the headline that gets attention? The headline I talked to you about, right? I already mentioned some. You must not use your job title like teacher at social school or journalist at social media company. It mustn't be your job description that you put there. You can feel free to write something that you want people to associate you with, right? Well, it might even be something you're looking forward to becoming. For instance, let's say you're an engineer that is currently looking at getting into data analytics. You can put in your headline that you're a data analyst, right? So if you want something, you're already taking courses to that effect, put it on your headline. That is becoming who you are. I mean, you're getting there, right? So you mustn't already have a job in data analysis before you put it on your headline. No, it's not compulsory, right? So if there's a career that you're working towards, you're currently taking courses on front-end development, you're currently taking courses on cloud engineering, feel free to put cloud engineer, right, on your headline. But please make sure you're already on your way there. Don't just relax. You're not taking any course. You don't even have a single clue about what that profession is about. It's just like me now putting medical doctor on my headline. It doesn't even make a single sense when I don't even know the very first thing about medicine and surgery. Then the next question, this was like 4 questions, but because they are related, I had to group them. So this question is about people who are multi-skilled, right? This person is asking if he has a skill in web design, writing, editing, teaching, but wants to pursue a career in finance. And further still, you're also an engineering graduate. How do you roll this all into one to make a compelling profile? How can one with multi-potential positions optimize his or her LinkedIn profile? And what niche can I focus on? These questions were from 3 people, but I merged them together. So as a multi-potential person, from the first question, you're an engineering graduate, it's fine. put it in your academic qualifications and leave it there. Since you don't want to pursue a career in engineering, there is no need for you to, maybe write in your headline. It should only be where it's supposed to be, which is in your in your academic qualifications only. Nothing else about that mentioned anywhere else in your profile, because you're not pursuing a career there. And then you're pursuing a career in finance. What I didn't really get is it that you're already into finance as a career, or you're still pursuing? But one thing that I know is that most times we have a lot of things we do. Like, currently, I know how to write. I love to teach. I can do a couple of wacky designs. I do event management. I do community management, a little bit of front end web developer. But I can't come to my LinkedIn profile and scatter all of this. At the end of the day, all these skills can compound to make you really good at one thing. So currently in my job as a community manager, I do a lot of things. I write, I speak, I manage things, I prepare documents, I do a lot of things. But these are not things I can scatter across my LinkedIn profile. It will confuse people, you know. So all these skills I saw here are not really, like, they mustn't stand alone. All of them can come together to even make you a very good career person in finance. From the first question, right? The person is asking about that he has a career in finance. So as someone in finance, you can decide to start doing something like, this lady called something Olasainde, the lady that founded Money Africa. She writes this very nice finance related educational materials through her newsletter. If you watch very well, she's someone who is very skilled in finance, but she's bringing in her writing skills, her managerial skills, her teaching skills into her career as a finance expert to teach people. So you should ask yourself, which career path do you want to focus on? If you find out that career path, then take all the other skills that you have and back it up. So all of them must not be standalone. I'm a writer. Where are the writers? You come. Where are editors? You show up. No, you don't have to do that necessarily. Just find one skill that you really want to do and use your other skills to back it up until you feel like rebranding or maybe pivoting. People pivot from one career to the other from time to time. If IJ was able to come up, she would have also put us through how she was able to move from an accounting career background to tech. So you can always pivot, but for each skill that you eventually want to decide on, or maybe the skill you want to really focus on, use your other skills as a backup to it. So that's what I would say for people who are multi-potentialized. Don't do the whole multi-potentialite thing on LinkedIn. I don't even think I would advise it in all platforms. At least be known for one thing for a long period of time, enough for people to say this person does this. If they say who are the community managers in Nigeria, they will call you, because over time you've proven to be good at that. If they say who are the best architectures in Nigeria, would they call you as an architect? So you need to be in a field long enough for your name to at least be known in that place before you can now start maybe trying to move into something else, or doing the multi-potentialite thing. So if you're an artist and you're a teacher and you're a musician and you're an actor, take it one step at the other after it at the other. Don't pack all of them into your LinkedIn at the same time. How do I create a portfolio and upload it on LinkedIn? This was a great question and I intended to mention it, but I wanted to get to that question first. I'm going to quickly show it. Just come here, more. You're going to see build a resume. So from here, you're free to either upload your resume from your computer or you can create from your profile. If you create from your profile, it's going to create, you're going to choose a job title. Okay, so let me quickly add a job title. So what this is basically going to do is to download all these details I have on my LinkedIn. Here it is. This is currently my CV. I can download it as PDF. It's already asking me here to download as PDF. I don't really want to, so I'm going to delete this resume. But just in case any of you, after optimizing your LinkedIn profile, feel like I can actually use this as my resume, don't worry, my light is really giving issues today. You see, it's back again. It's flickering and flickering and flickering. Okay. So back to the slide, the next question is, how do I optimize my profile as a freelancer? Basically, everything I've shown is true. The illustrations I used were more for job seekers, but I believe freelancers can still do basically the same thing. In your featured section, you can decide to feature the jobs you've done. You know, on my profile, you'll see a section for, I think there's a section for projects. I don't know if I added it. I don't think I added it because I don't do projects. But I think from up there where you can add profile section, you might probably find a project section. Let me check. Yeah, add projects. I didn't add because I don't have projects that I've done. Like I don't build websites. They are not. I used to build website, but I don't do anymore. So I don't want it to appear on my profile. So imagine you're a front end dev and you have a lot of websites you've developed in the past. You need to you need to show them on your profile. So click on add projects and add all the projects you've done for people. You're a designer, freelance designer, add them. You're a content writer. You've written so many fantastic contents for a lot of organizations. Add that project session to your LinkedIn and add the projects that you've done. But don't relegate the things you've done to only that project area. Also feature them here. Some of them, right? I would have talked more about that if we are getting into the content area of LinkedIn, but we're not really going into that today. But I'm going to cover all of that in this book. What kind of opportunities are found on LinkedIn? Literally every kind of opportunity, scholarships, jobs, gigs for freelancers, um, even networks. You can network. I've built an amazing network of people through LinkedIn, even people that I can even refer to as friends, if you ask me. I found them all through LinkedIn. You can find speaking opportunities. If you're also someone who organizes events, you can also find speakers for your events on LinkedIn. So the opportunities are like many. You can find your supervisors, your project supervisors, if you're looking at maybe doing a master's or PhD. And some schools usually ask you to reach out to a potential supervisor before they can give you admission to do your PhD. You can find those connections on LinkedIn more than you can do that on any other platform. You can even find opportunities for collaborations. If you're someone who is doing a startup or a business and you're looking for collaboration, you want to partner with people, LinkedIn can grant you that opportunity as long as you put what you do out there. In that situation, you don't need to only depend on your LinkedIn profile. You need to always consistently talk about what you do. Then this question was for IJ, but I'll still bring her up if she's able to make it. Someone is asking how she grew her LinkedIn profile and how she transitioned from accounting to tech. So that's the question for her. Another question is, how does one respond when contacted on LinkedIn for work? What is the best response if you are a first timer so as not to blow your cover or lose your job? So I shared some samples of, things that you can send to potential clients or prospects or even collaboration requests on LinkedIn in that book. So please try to get that book. There are like myriads of examples for you to use. This is also another question that relates to content. Do I really have to be posting all my successes on LinkedIn? No. You don't need to post all your successes because I don't know what you mean by successes. I had a baby, I didn't post on LinkedIn. It's a success, but I didn't, at this point, I don't think it's something I want to be on my LinkedIn, right? So it depends on what you call success and the amount of, vulnerable you want to be. I shared my wedding on LinkedIn, but I'm not sharing my childbirth. So it depends on you. What is your definition of the things you want to have on LinkedIn? Right? But then ideally, if you finish a course or you finish a certification or you got a new job or you finished a project successfully, like if there are career related successes, you got promoted, you did a fantastic project at work, or you brought up an idea and executed it and it worked very well and even maybe brought revenues for your team or brought collaboration or like good things for your team, share it on LinkedIn because somehow those things are like the footprints that would show a potential recruiter that you are good at what you do. So it's always good to share career success on LinkedIn. But then for personal successes, it all depends on you. So I think this already answers the question. 1, 2, content strategy will be covered in the book. What type of content also covered in the book? How often can one post on LinkedIn daily? You mustn't post on LinkedIn daily, please. You mustn't post daily, but try to post even if it's once in a week or once in 2 weeks, depending on the cadence you want. But don't stay for so long without at least, sharing something with your audience, something you can't say for the entire month, nothing really happened in your career. Then you need to do something about it. Then number 10, for someone without much experience relating to their field of study, how do they go about making their LinkedIn profile attractive? Much experience is a relative concept, but if you're talking about having a level of experience, because by much, I'm assuming you know something, but you don't think it's enough, you have to put the ones you know on your LinkedIn profile, right? The job experience I have today, I didn't have them 3 years ago. I didn't have them last year. So the ones you have now, put them there. The more you take courses or get experiences, you keep updating. It's a journey, it's not a destination. The second question is, without having a skill or something to do, can one set up an amazing LinkedIn profile successfully? And the first question I'll ask is, why don't you have a skill? There are so many platforms where you can have free knowledge shared everywhere, certifications everywhere. You can start with HubSpot free social media marketing course. You can start with technical writing free by Google. You can start with Simply Learn. There are a bunch of free courses there. If you check Yali, I think Yali, yeah, they have a couple of social enterprise and governance and all the civic things courses there. So there are like bunch of both free and paid course you can get started with and start getting skilled, especially if you already know the niche you want to focus on. Do you want to get into content creation? There are a bunch of free and paid content courses. So you have to get a skill. Even if currently you don't really have an idea of exactly where you want to be, you don't know whether you want to do front end or back, just start somewhere. If it's social media marketing you want to start, we start first. With time, it will get clearer. I didn't start out my tech journey being a developer community manager. I started as a front end developer, right? And with time, it started getting clearer. Like things will start aligning and you start seeing where you should be, right? But in the meantime, just start, take a course and start uploading, putting it out on your LinkedIn. And with time, you will get more clarity. Okay, I think I've pretty much answered. We have a lot of questions on that form, but I had to compress the related ones, right? So I don't, there were like over 40 questions and they were really a lot, and we've spent so much time. I'm going to stop sharing now just to know if IJ is back. IJ, I'm going to try to add you again.
Okay. Can you hear me
Okay,
now?
I can hear you now. Yes, so you want me to share my screen or you share yours?
Well, I don't know. My network is lagging, so I don't know how fast. So I don't have to waste any more
But
time.
yeah, but if you
But
want
let me
to
try.
show
If
that, well,
it
how do
doesn't,
you? Okay,
okay, I'm covering job search and all. So it's kind of like very practical. So I don't know. Please, if you can hear me, just comment or something.
yeah, I can actually hear you. So I have a feeling that others will as well. Once I can hear you, I believe every other person can.
Okay, let me try presenting to see if it's going to work. Um, okay, can you see my screen?
Okay, I've added it. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go over to my LinkedIn. So yes, this is my LinkedIn. I had to switch from dark mode to because my page has been unresponsive since we start. In fact, I've been battling behind. So when it comes to I'm covering job search, setting for job notifications, uploading. Amara, please, if once you stop hearing me, just call my attention, please.
Of course. Can you turn off that fan now?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. Uh, great. The sound is better now.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No,
The
it's
weather
fine.
is still hot. Okay. So when it comes when it comes to job searching, well, a lot has to go in. You have to first of all know what you're looking for, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
there are different ways you can search for job on LinkedIn. We have this job section here, and then you can just come and type something like, let's say, I'm a community manager, so most times, in as much as I'm working, but I still search for job opportunities so that I can always jump ship when I find something that makes sense. You can say community manager hiring. Well, my network is slow. MTN is dealing with me.
Sorry.
Damn. So when something like this happens, you're gonna see people. This is just like trying to get people that are posting for job opportunities that didn't really use the LinkedIn job feature. So people can just come to their page or to their post and say, "We are looking for a community manager in June, this and that. We are hiring." So you can just like see a link. Now we are hiring community manager. See a link, you apply straight up. Then sometimes you can filter. LinkedIn has made it very easy for people to like do anything they want to do. So you can just say post, you click on post. It's going to show where you can check let's say if the job was posted 24 hours ago or 1 week ago or 1 month ago. So it makes it easy for you to apply for jobs that maybe that just recently came out and not jobs that have stayed for like days, because you can apply for jobs that they are already in interview stage, so they won't really look at you. So well, my network is so bad. See, it's taking forever to load.
Sorry.
Amara, how are we going to do this?
Um,
I don't know. MTN is dealing with me
yeah,
tonight.
and this session is supposed to be as practical as possible. But you're
Honestly,
having
and
this session in the next 40 minutes, right? This same session, right?
yeah, but it's in the community, and I don't know if I do be able to
Oh,
stream. So okay, let me continue. It's showing. So you can
okay.
see here. You can see. So you can ask check posted by, is it your first connection, me, or people you follow. Then you can
The
check
date.
date posted. If you say the past 24 hours, it's going to show you jobs that they posted the past 24 hours. Then you can sort by top match, latest, from member, from there are a lot of things you can actually do. Then if you want to upload your resume to to LinkedIn, you have to come to your settings and privacy. I'm trying to rush this session because actually there is a lot to talk about when it comes to job searching on LinkedIn. So, uh,
This network is sorry.
honestly, so it's so you go to data privacy. When you go to data privacy, you see job application settings. You click on it. Hmm.
Sorry,
Well,
I know how frustrating this type of things can be. Please don't be frustrated. We really
I need to
understand,
ask,
and I believe that people that are watching understand because it's a Nigerian thing, right?
I need Starlinks in my life because what is this?
You do. Our
So
school is doing
let me
giveaway.
just serious.
Yeah, but I think it's for their students.
So
I
let me
don't think
just
you.
continue. So let me just continue talking about job searching as a whole. I believe Amara has covered all about your profile because yes, your profile has a lot to do about job, about the type of job you can actually get. Because yes, everything is superficial. When you search for jobs or when you reach out to people for jobs, they check your profile. Even with me, that my profile is yeah up to date and it's top notch to some extent. I don't mean to brag, but my profile is actually good. So most times people can still check my profile and be like, she's not what we need. So imagine if they can do something like that to me, then imagine someone that doesn't even have anything at all on their profile. So it's gonna be very, very difficult for you to get a job. So we are already here, see, I've uploaded 17 plus resumes. This is to
What
show
are you
you that
looking for?
well, I'm going to delete some of them. I've not been here for a while. So it shows that your resume supposed to be up to date every
Yeah,
damn time. Can't use a resume that you used since last year and you're still using it. Doesn't make any sense.
no.
And one thing with searching is you have to keep iterating and asking yourself, what am I not doing well? What am I doing well? How can I improve? So when you ask yourself these questions, okay, just let's say you keep applying for roles, and you're not getting the feedback you want. You go back and ask yourself, is this issue from my resume? What can I improve? So that's why, as you've seen here, I've uploaded a lot of resumes, and I some of the current one I use now. This is my latest one that I just did on the 21st of February. So that's what I use now for my job applications. So these ones are outdated. Let's just put it that way. So this is where you can upload your resume, and that's it. And then when it comes to, we have a feature on LinkedIn that we call Easy Apply. When you go to your jobs, your job board, you will see jobs that have Easy Apply. So it's very easy, just like your details. Once you click on it, your details will just appear: your name, your number, your resume, could be your cover letter, because it stores your information. So when you've used a particular cover letter for let's say a community manager role, it automatically stores it. So when next you're applying for a role like that, it brings it up. So it's now left for you to decide whether you want to change it or leave it. So, but then one thing with the easy apply feature is that a lot of people get to apply, right? Because it's very easy. People like easy things. But that doesn't mean it's going to get you the job. And that also doesn't mean it can't get you the job. But then you have to put in extra effort. So you have to reach out to the recruiter. And that's what having the premium feature can do for you. Okay, let me show you my profile so you see what it feels like to have the premium feature. So when you have the premium feature, it gives you the opportunity to reach out to recruiters. Some recruiters have their DM locked, but
Mm-hmm.
some don't. But when you have this LinkedIn feature, it has a lot of, will I say, premium features. Let me put it that way. So when you see someone with this badge here, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So it's showing Ijoma is a premium member. So
When?
yes, this is what my account looks like. Well, sorry, my page has been unresponsive since afternoon. So with the feature, you can see when people are checking out your profile, so you can actually reach out to them. But without the feature, you could just see like few people checking your profile, and that's it. But when you have the premium feature, You can actually see everybody checking your profile. And one thing you have to do on LinkedIn is you have to be very active. You don't just like set up your profile and you disappear. Because definitely, when people are searching for um, candidates that they want to recruit, they might just see your profile and it looks nice, but they might just be contemplating whether they should reach out to you or not. It's you that know what you want, and it's you that need something. So you shouldn't be there waiting for people they want to reach out to you every damn time. You make the move. You reach out to this person. I was supposed to like show how you can reach out to people, because people make this mistake all the time. They get to people's DM and you be like, "Hi, what is hi?" or "Hello, dear. Who is your dear?"
On
So
LinkedIn.
you have to be as professional as possible. Go straight to the point. "Hello, I trust you're well. My name is Ijoma Belinda Onwuka. I'm a community manager at this, um, or I'm an aspiring community manager." Whatever you want to classify yourself, you could um, put in, just um, hype yourself, not like in a negative way. Just point out some of the things you have done, even if it's a volunteering role that you did in the past, or you could just have a transferable skill or whatever that can help. You just sell yourself to the person. So that's why you have to go straight to the point. Most of the time, people will air you. That's the truth. So we are not telling you all these things that is going to work, but you have to keep trying. You have to try a lot of things before you could actually find something that works for you. So you reach out. When you are reaching out, you go straight to the point. You don't say hello and wait for the person to be like, "Hi, how are you?" before you start telling them why you're in their DM. And then when I was looking for job, I had a compilation of about 120 African founders. So I do reach out to them. It's called cold messaging or cold emailing, depending on what you want to call it. You reach out to, I guess I need to stop because there is no longer time and my network is very bad. So me trying to use my distance can delay the, because I have another event in the next 28 minutes. So yes, when you are reaching out to recruiters, these people don't have time. So sometimes you can actually add a personal touch. So most times what I do is I connect with people first.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to transition, someone asked me, "How did you get to transition from accounting to tech?" Now I did that in I was my first job. I worked at KPMG. That was my first job ever in my life, and I got it through LinkedIn. Because what did I do? I just started using LinkedIn then in 2020, around that September, October. So what I did was I was massively in love with KPMG. I started connecting with everybody in KPMG. As long as I will just send you connection. A lot of people will not connect, but a substantial amount too we connect. So I started connecting, talking about KPMG, following them back to back. I used to sleep on their page. I know everything about them, all the events they have. When you are passionate about something, this is what you have to do. And trust me, people are watching. You think they are not, but they are. So every time once KPMG post something, you see me there commenting. So and the recruiter now reached out to me and was like, "Let's check your eligibility for our graduate training program." And I was like, "I've not even served. And I'm waiting for NYSC to mobilize me." They say, "Okay, then you can serve with our firm." And that's how I got my job. And when I was working there as an auditor, I realized that this is not the type of life I want for myself. Because auditing is hard and you will not sleep. I say no. Then what is out there for me? I started searching. I always tell people Google is your friend. Anything you want. See, nobody taught me how to use LinkedIn. I started using it by myself, just winging it anyhow. I just they run and they go. So that's what you need to do as well. When you come to this platform, look at what people are doing, you do it. That's what I did. I started searching for jobs that I can actually do in tech. And that's when I stumbled on product management. Trust me, I started taking courses, connecting with people already in PM, reaching out to them, asking them questions. questions. Before you know it, you're already making friends, and they will start guiding you on the things you can actually do to succeed in this role. So you start taking courses, uploading your certifications on LinkedIn. Before you know it, you're building momentum, you're connecting with people. And because you need to actually have something to show that you are actually interested in this skill. Because when you reach out to recruiters or founders and they check your profile, you've not taken any course on product management, you don't know anything. So how can you actually help us? They are not running charity, right? You are there to help them and they pay you in return. So what can you offer? That's why you need to have to start building yourself first. I'd not say because we are done with LinkedIn or once after this course now, you just go and start
Mhm.
missing recruiters when you don't know anything about, or you want to learn you want to be a Python developer, you've not even code hello world, nothing, you're reaching out to people. It's not going to work. In fact, nobody will even reply you, and at the end of the day, you'll be the one to get hurt. You get discouraged, but you're the one that is not doing it right. I'm not
Mhm.
sounding like a motivation speaker. I mean, that's not what I intended. But all these things are what you need to do to land a job,
I
right?
don't. Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm missing anything because I could go on and on and on,
I know
but
you now. It's just at the time. But it's okay. I believe that the much we've said is enough to at least get a head start. And
yeah.
I believe in action. Act, not just like watch this and then leave it like that.
And
So,
another thing is
okay.
you can get jobs through referrals. That's why it's good. See, when I started as a PM and then I transitioned to community management, before I had PMs, I still have them in my network, but I realized that okay, I'm no longer in this field. I need more of community managers so that I can see what other people are doing in their
Yeah, then you
communities.
start connecting with community managers
Exactly. I intentionally type community managers on my LinkedIn
and
and
start sending connection requests.
all of them. And because my profile is good, majority of them will check and be like, okay, this person is legit and this person is serious. They will connect.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's the beauty of having an optimized profile. See, if your profile is not optimized on LinkedIn, nothing, there is nothing you are doing there that will work. That's the truth. So you connect with people in that particular skill you're looking for or that particular profession you're looking for. Connect with them and you not just send request and let it be. Because once you've connected with somebody, you start seeing their posts on your feed. That's when you start liking, commenting. Before you know it, okay, they've seen your face,
Yeah.
you've commented before, they've seen this name, you liked their post. Before you know it, it starts sticking. And then
Yeah.
you can enter into their DM and be like, okay, um, hi, just look for a
Yeah.
conversation to
I also
don't
like I also like connecting with message. These days, when you go on LinkedIn and you want to send a connection request, LinkedIn prompts you to add a message to it. I
you
like
can
that one too. The message is usually very short. They don't allow you to write a very lengthy thing, but it's usually a very good way to like say,
something
"Hi,
catchy.
I'm Amarachi Johnson. I am a community manager based in Cameroon. I am reaching out because I want to connect with you because I see what you're doing as a community manager and it's very interesting for me." Like something like that. Once they see it, they usually connect.
Yeah.
They
So
usually connect.
you
So
just have
it increases your
to
chances of connecting to people. Connect with a message. Don't just click connect. When you click connect, LinkedIn will ask you, do you want to add a note? Say yes. Add a note and then send the connection request. The person will receive your request together with the notes that you've attached. It's very helpful. Yeah.
So I guess probably when next we have a session like this, I will have to like deep dive, and it's unfortunate that my network was very bad
Yeah,
today. I would have
you might actually have to
shown you
contribute
guys.
to the book so that yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we may not have this session again. I don't think so. Enough has already been said, but I know that there are really more that we can explore. So the book is going to be coming out on March 31st. So it's not like ready. So maybe you can actually contribute those to the book so that people who get it will also see those aspects that we were not able to cover in this session.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
I'm gonna be.
I don't. Yeah. Thank you very much, IG, for coming on board, and thank you to everyone that joined. Some of you stayed here from like 6 o'clock till now. It's a very lengthy session. It's been an hour and 40 minutes. Jeez. And thank you very much for joining. If you have any question for me or for IJ, subsequent questions you want to ask, I am Amarachi Johnson Oba across Facebook and LinkedIn. And on Twitter, I'm Amarachi Johnson. Ijoma is Ijoma Onwoka across, I think Ijoma Belinda Onwoka across LinkedIn and Facebook. And then on Twitter, she's Belinda Ijoma. So feel free to reach out to any of us and ask any of your questions. I'm also available to review a couple of LinkedIn's, like just to take a look and give you feedback. So if you would like that, also send me a message. Preferably send me a message on LinkedIn. Don't send me a message on Facebook. I'm always running away from my Facebook Messenger. The DM is too much. But LinkedIn is like a more preferable platform if you want me to take a look at your profile. So once you send me a message, I'll quickly glance through your profile and quickly provide you with feedback on maybe areas or sections in your LinkedIn that I feel need some, that I think they need some improvements, some level of optimization. Thank you very much, everyone, once again for joining. The replay to this video will be made available. So if you want to replay, that's very good. Thank you once again and have an amazing night rest. Bye, everyone.